So you guys know it's me, MTMM, and I'm here at the Budget Inn. Now last night I took my own money to help a guy that never gets in trouble, never does anything wrong. He just lays on the sidewalk away from everybody else because he doesn't want to get involved in anything stupid, right? And I check in here, and you guys know I serve my country. You guys know that I'm only in Boise. I'm only here in Boise to expose that homeless people are treated like garbage. They're treated like second-class citizens. And you guys know that I'm literally undercover pretending to be homeless just to see what's going on with COVID and all that stuff. And we're live. I want you guys to share this everywhere because I just got robbed for $30 deposit after cleaning the room. And I have pictures of the room before and after and what it looked like and some stupid shit that I found. Stupid shit that I found in that room that was pretty sketchy. But we won't get into descriptions yet. I have all the evidence, timestamps, and details of that stuff. And this ain't gonna, hey, if you guys could do me a favor, a few minutes after this live stream, I'm gonna put a link to a review. So you guys can give them a shitty review for hating on homeless men. Because we had prayer circles. I helped these guys get jobs like construction work and things like that. So that way they don't have to get desperate or give up. And what I did is I had a prayer circle this morning. It lasted a few hours. And these were only guys that tested negative for COVID. And these guys are trying to get off the street, but nobody cares. They take one look at you and say, I want you to suffer. I want you to stay on the street. That's what they do. They judge these guys. That's why I'm wearing, hey look, I'm wearing stuff just like the rest of them. Look, I'm wearing a pack that's all busted up, right? So I just blend in. So I don't get any special treatment, right? Because I don't want that. I want to get treated exactly how they're being treated. And I'll be damned, dude. This lady wouldn't even let me explain why there was people extra in my room. We had a prayer circle and I recorded it because I was told, hey, if other people come to your room, you're gonna lose your deposit, right? And I said, no, we're not. Look, I'm doing God's work, and we're gonna have receipts of what we're doing in here, and we're also gonna, because the guy was like, why is the room so trashy? Like when we first got the room, there were no towels. The ones that were there were on the floor. One bed didn't even have a sheet cover, and I have all the proof. And there was straws that were cut underneath my bed, and some suspicious items within the sheets. And I wasn't gonna lay on that. That's why I had my sleeping bag. I laid inside my sleeping bag. And I told him, I said, look, a lot of homeless guys come in here and they trash the rooms and they do this and they do that. So you gotta earn respect and clean it. And that's what we did. We literally cleaned the fuck out that room, had a prayer circle, I hand out hand sanitizer, I hand out hand warmers, and I was making phone calls so these guys could have work. I was making many phone calls so these guys could have some work today and get off the street and have actual work. And you know what she said? This is why I went undercover as a homeless guy. This is exactly why. Because they get shitted on, they get disrespected, and they're supposed to just take it, but we're not gonna take it, guys. You know how I flood channels that disrespect us, what we do? Well, we're gonna find their little reviews and we're gonna flood it, and they hate homeless guys, so put hashtag fuck people who hate homeless men, or no, just do whatever you want, just something that along those lines if you want to. And it's the Budget Inn. It's out here on 27th and Fairview or something like that. I'll put a link in the description, and I'll describe what the address is here in a minute. Because this woman doesn't know how to run a damn business to save her life. She would not be hired for dog catcher with the way that room looked. And she's not going to get away with it. It's only $30, guys. Look, I'll survive. I kind of knew we were going to get treated like shit when I walked in that room and it looked that way. And she's kind of putting people at risk because all these guys are having outbreaks at these homeless shelters of COVID-19. And if you don't clean the fucking room, the last group might have COVID-19, right? And then the new crew might go in there and get a room, and she done prejudged you. She's prejudging people, and you go get that room that they won't clean, and you might end up with COVID-19. You might actually end up dying or sick because this bitch over here judged you and said, no, give them the shitty rooms. Give them the rooms that we won't clean. Give them the rooms that might have COVID-19 in it, and they ain't gonna clean it. And I made sure to take all the pictures when I first walked in there because I was disgusted. See, before all this COVID shit, I traveled the country. I went to hotels all the time, and they never looked like that, ever. In my entire career as a businessman, whenever I went to events, when I was in marketing, I had contracts, I never once, as an independent contractor, ever seen rooms that look like that. But I was humble this morning, and I told these men, I said, because we had a little prayer circle. It was me and another guy that slept there all night. These other guys just show up in the middle of the morning because they wanted a prayer circle. It's our faith to do things like that. But I did dress like them, didn't I? So that way I didn't get treated differently. I got treated exactly as shitty as these men probably get treated every day, every week. And she scams them out of their money. Makes up some bullshit and scams them out of their money. So she's not going to scam me out of money without getting scammed herself. And all she did was scam herself. That's all she did was scam herself, guys. The man that I got that room for was a good man, and he doesn't do anything wrong. He doesn't break the law. He doesn't do hard drugs. He doesn't drink. He doesn't do anything. Nothing. Nothing. So what if a couple other guys wanted to come and have a prayer circle and ask about work and do some online applications because I have a working phone, and as long as they test negative for COVID and prove that, then I'm willing to help these men out. I bought this man a hotel, let these other guys come, just for a few hours. They were not there the whole night, like she's implying. That is so disrespectful and so rude. And so this morning, I go to get my $30 deposit, which I was going to give at least half of that to that man so he could have his day, where he could at least eat. And we purposely missed breakfast because of the prayer circle. Now he has to wait many more hours to even eat nothing. What kind of human being does that? Oh, I'll tell you. A gynocentric, misandrous, man-bashing, man-hating, judgmental cunt that doesn't know what God is or what a man of God looks like. I've been sitting here doing these undercover videos and ROL, Interfaith and all that, and you guys know the movie. I'm making an actual movie, right? This is going to be in it. This is going to be in the actual movie, and they're going to get the shittiest fucking reviews. You remember what we did to, some of these celebrities out there, to some of their fucking YouTube channels? Well, we're going to do the same thing to the review for this fucking place. You're not going to rob a man of God out of money just because I sat there and did God's work last night, this morning. And you know what? You lost. Because I'm going to spread the word. I'm literally going to talk to every homeless person I see and tell them that you robbed them out of money. Like literally, you robbed them out of money. And you stuck me in a trap house looking ass room. And you know you did it. You know you stuck me in a shitty ass trap house. Live. Share this everywhere, guys. This place disrespects homeless men. Right here. This little budget inn. Because they're running out of rooms in these homeless shelters right now. Boise is the fastest growing city in America. So the homeless problem is going to get worse. People are going to need to spend money on a budget, right? And have to budget their damn money just to not freeze to death out here. Just to not freeze to death. And this woman is acting like a dictator in a third world country where she's probably from one. And she wants to treat people like shit. Like they're not Americans, like we don't have rights. Now, there's a thing called free speech. And I use it often and I use it well. And anytime there's corruption, whether it is a political figure or just the system or any laws, I'm going to expose it. If she thinks she's above the law or she's above my rights, because I fought for my rights in the military, by the way. I fought for my rights. I have my military paperwork in my bag, DD-214, and I can sit here and say whatever the hell I want because I ain't got nothing on me. I could piss in a cup and it's clean. I don't go to the bar. I don't drink. I sit there and I'm quiet and I observe who's out there and who's good and who's not. And those men are good men trying to change their life. There's nothing you can do about it. So after this stream, I'm going to put a link to a review site, many of them, anyone that she's on. And I'm going to show you guys later when I make that movie that you guys already knew I was making. Look, this is a real live stream on YouTube, by the way. I know you're there. You think I can't see you, but I can actually see you. I saw you pacing back and forth. I can see you. Look, that's a real YouTube live stream. And you're going to be famous for being an asshole to a man of God. I'm not really a hobo. I'm not really homeless. Oh, now she's going to call the cops because she can yell and criticize me. But when you guys see what her room looked like, what they put us in last night, it was disgusting. You're not going to, look, she's going to call the cops, right? The cops know who I am, and they know, look, the cops already know that I'm a YouTuber out here. They already know this. Oh my God, she's going to kick a dead horse. I can say whatever the hell I want to, and nobody's going to fucking touch me because you ain't a man mall cop. I can say whatever I want. The sidewalk is not owned by you. Budget in. When you guys see the footage of what that room looked like when I checked in, all she had to do was give me my damn money back, and I was going to give it right back to the homeless people. You're not going to screw me over. That looked like a trap house in there. It was disgusting. Thank God that I had the proof. Thank God that I recorded that, because I had a weird feeling that if I didn't, I was going to be screwed over. You guys know I've traveled to home shows all over the country. I was a businessman before all this, and I now just make videos. I'm going to expose you. There's nothing you can do about it. You're not going to just get away. You can call the cops all you want. They already know that I'm a YouTuber out here. You're not going to get away with it. Gang stalk me if you want to. You're not going to win. So be sure to give Budget Inn, which is next to a restaurant called the Capri. This is a really good restaurant, by the way. Really, really good restaurant that, you know, if I was Mr. Hobo, I would not be able to afford that food. That's some good ass food. She's not immune to criticism. I'm sorry. She literally just shat on me and disrespected me. They didn't say that nobody could come over for 2 or 3 hours and have prayer circles. That's my religion. You're not going to oppress it. You know, I can sit there and support God all I want. I don't support any specific one religion. Look, I just follow God. But those men are Christians, so I went with their faith through their lens, but still talking to God. Okay? I'm not going to sit there and split hairs with people, because most people, they just have to pick a religion. Cool. They're talking to God. They're you know, going to get their life right. Cool. We'll all share a prayer. Right? That's all I'm doing. For her to sit there and treat me like I'm scum of the earth when I go into, and I cleaned her fucking room completely up. Completely cleaned it. And she's taking food out of the hands of homeless men. That's some dark shit. That is some dark shit. And then she had the nerve to call the cops. For what? Me voicing my free speech when somebody's being an asshole and discriminating? We got that room and it looked like shit when we first got it. Completely looked like shit when we first got it. One bed, there's 2 beds, right? One bed didn't have even a bed cover on it. And there was no towels that were clean. They were all piled up on the floor, dirty as fuck looking. And they were hesitant to even give us any damn towels. That was disgusting. So don't ever go to the fucking Budget Inn. Just give them the shittiest fucking review that you ever gave them. And it's the one that's downtown Boise. The Budget Inn that's downtown Boise. It's not even maybe a half mile from the shelters. It's literally behind the shelters. And I'll see what street this is real quick, because I'm not even from here. That's how dumb this woman is. She didn't know that a YouTuber's out here helping men and, you know, trying to get them some rooms when it's ridiculously cold. Look at what the temperature was last night here in Boise. It was ridiculously fucking cold. Ridiculous. And they're running out of rooms over here because COVID-19 is causing them to have to spread out in some of these missions. And they're running out of room. And if you're asymptomatic, you might have COVID, right? But if you have no symptoms, the people that show up to do the tests, they say, oh, you didn't have any symptoms? We'll run the test, but you'll get the results in a few days. You'll get the results in a few days if you're asymptomatic. Which means you're not going to be allowed in the mission until they have the results. Some of these people have to freeze outside for days on end not get to go to the missions because they didn't sneeze, or they didn't lose their sense of smell. They're not having breathing problems and this and that and the other. So the people that go up to these missions and do the test, they're like, well, we're only going to rapid test people. Like, everybody gets tested, right? But they're only going to rapid test like 15 minutes results, right? For people who have symptoms. So either there's a shortage or these people are heartless. There's either a shortage of the rapid test or these people are heartless, because these motherfuckers have to freeze outside if they have no symptoms, but they take the test, because without results, you don't get to stay in these damn places. So you know what I decided to do? Get whoever deserves it. If they're not out there starting trouble, and I've been observing for a while, I know who deserves a room. That man deserved a room, and I made sure that he got one. I made sure he got one. And for them to treat me like shit, like I'm a fucking YouTuber and I'm exposing the fucking shit that's going on right now. Because nobody, look, you got the news over there, they don't even know what's going on. They don't know about the massive outbreak of COVID. They don't know about how people are being booted out onto the streets, freezing to death. They don't know about that. Look, that's a news. That's a news car right there. That little white vehicle. They were just over here, right? Yeah, they're hanging out this mission, but they don't know what's going on in these other places. You know, look, this mission's doing good. They have good reviews. ROL literally didn't start testing people's temperatures till a few days ago, and I have the footage of them just letting people on in, not testing fucking temperatures, and then a dude falls out right there at the same dinner. No, they were not checking temperatures till I showed up, and they said, oh shit, we know who he is. Yeah, and they won't even let me stay the night there because they know I'm going to look at their bathrooms and they're going to look like prison bathrooms, right? ROL is so corrupt, it's not even funny. It's river of lies over there. I have all the evidence on my phone. See, these people will never expose that. They have no balls to do so. So, yep, it was a street called Fairview. So on Fairview, in between 23rd Street and 27th Street, there's a place called Budget Inn that steals money from homeless people by giving them shitty ass rooms with missing blankets and towels that are fucked up on the floor. And then when you try to, use it as a learning experience instead of being bitter about it, I said, hey, this is a learning experience. Just go ahead and clean the room up, because honestly, a lot of these guys probably have previously trashed the rooms. So we're going to take the extra time and clean up this damn thing. And we cleaned it up real nice, right? And because I'm dressing as a hobo, wearing a shitty ass backpack, because you can't dress nice and be taken serious as a homeless. I can tell you that. Because I was wearing some nice clothes when I first got up here, and people were like, you ain't homeless. But go ahead and give her a nice little review. A nice fucking review, and then spread this shit everywhere. Because I'm sorry, but that was enough. Look, she wouldn't even let me explain myself to her. When she said, I heard I wasn't going to get the budget because, I had a bunch of people staying in my room. One person said there was a girl in there. There was no fucking females in that motherfucking thing. None. I can tell you that right now. None. No females were in there. None. So they can say whatever they want, but it's not true. They say whatever the fuck they want. See, I have proof of what I'm saying. They don't, because it's not true. Nobody stayed the night. We had a fucking prayer circle, and I was talking about getting these guys jobs, swinging them by their little job interviews and how we can pull that off and this and that and the other. These places are just mad because somebody's going to expose them how they treat people in this damn city. Look, people are talking about, Boise's this great city. Let's all move there. But it's a booming population. So the homelessness population is going to climb too, because there's limited, success here. There's limited opportunity. You're not going to come here and just be super successful when the cost of living is jumping. That's why I moved away. I only came back because of the COVID shit that I told you guys was going to go down, and where the epicenters are going to be, which means in most cities they're having outbreaks. I bet you money it's just like Boise. Same shit, where the forgotten people amongst their population, the mentally ill, the addicts, the people who have previously committed crimes but want to do better. Some of them do want to do better, but they're not going to be hired. And if they have mental illness, people just don't give a shit about them. They're like, just let them die on the streets, right? Mostly because they are men. Mostly because they are men. And I'm fucking fed up with this shit because their lack of humanity towards men on the street or men who are struggling, their lack of humanity says one thing. It says, fuck you, everybody. We're going to look away. COVID's going to blow up in the city, and we're going to just say, oh, no, we don't know how it happened. Well, I know how it happened, and so do you guys. You know now. Boise's about to have a COVID outbreak like you don't even know. Fastest growing city. Homelessness is being ignored, and the men that are homeless are being judged. And you can say, oh, well, there's homeless women out there too. You know, I sat there and watched some of these people out there holding their little cardboard signs. And you can say what you want, how much people make. I'm seeing the men make $20, $30 a day. Because in most cities, I've heard stories of dudes making it big, $200, $300 a day. I've heard about that, and it kind of disgusted me, like it probably does most of you out there that like to work hard. $200, $300 a day is kind of a fucked up thing. It's literally it's enabling them to just sit there and do that all day, right? Well, some people in the world generally, like let's say you have a car problem, but you can't afford it because you're homeless, you're living in your car, right? You might sign spend to get that shit fixed, or maybe you're mentally ill and nobody wants to hire you, or you have a felony and nobody's going to hire you. This city is very judgmental, guys, more so than most cities I've ever been to. And so any issue going on, I mean, we're all only human. We've walked our own paths, and some people, make mistakes. We all make mistakes, but some people make certain mistakes and it literally tumbles their life down. And because of their gender, they're literally being dismissed. Because there are women out here, I can tell you right now, that are whoring their ass, getting everything they need from other men out here, and I've seen it, and yet they go out and sign spin for 2 or 3 hours and make $100. 2 to 3 hours. Too lazy to stay there all day and solve their life issues, because hey, some of these women could stay there all day long for about 4 or 5 days straight, all day long until the sun goes down, and they would have enough to get a car, start paying some rent, and get off the streets. If there's women out here, they want to be fucking out here, dude. For these men out here to be shit on like that, I just seen at that fucking hotel, that's bullshit. And I'm not gonna stand for it. So you guys go in there, give them a fucking shitty ass fucking review and flood that shit. I'm dead serious, dude. Share this live stream. I'm gonna get off because I'm not breathing too hot. I might even be carrying COVID. Who knows? Who fucking knows? Who really knows? Because I'm not having to cram no more shit up my fucking nose anymore, dude. To fucking sit there and test me on that shit. Fuck that. Fuck all that. I'm too stubborn to die from stupid little fucking novel ass virus. I don't care about that shit. Okay. I'm using the hand sanitizing stations. I'm clean. I see somebody sniffing and coughing, man, I avoid them like the plague. I'm not even staying at the shelters anymore. I might pop up really quick some of these places to just grab a lunch, but I'm avoiding everybody. I'm wearing a mask, washing my hands, not touching my face. I'll grab a lunch, go sit down, then I go wash my hands again, and I come back and I eat, praying that nobody touched any of the plastic that's wrapping this food, because if you look it up, Corona stays there for a few hours on plastic, a few days on cardboard. If you got a box full of sack lunches and somebody touches one and then accidentally touches yours, bam, that's where an outbreak can happen, right there at lunch. That's how some of these places are operating. Big box full of sack lunches, and then they step away and all these guys are grabbing these sack lunches. Paper is just like cardboard. I mean, what is cardboard made out of, right? Paper, same thing. It's all from trees. And it's room temperature in some of these places. Some of these places, even if it's outside, it's not in the sunlight when they're giving you food. And even if it is, it's not 90 seconds. So it's not killing the COVID. And I don't care how bad this virus is or not, guys. They're doing absolutely nothing to stop it, and I think the New World Order is using this virus to take away our rights, to basically push the reset button on humanity. I don't know what they're doing. All I know is I am seeing elderly men who are the number one people affected. These elderly gentlemen are being picked off by this virus. I'm seeing it, guys. They're falling out while they're eating. They're falling out in the middle of the night, middle of the day. There's no specific time. They're all just falling out. And if you're a homeless man and you're elderly, you probably have health issues. You probably have mental illness. And because of both, you're likely to be an addict. Because you have mental illness, they're going to shove pills at you. Mental illness, they're going to try to get pills in you, which only promotes the idea of you being an addict later. If you have health issues because you're old, you should not be forgotten in society. You probably worked your whole life. Some of these elderly guys, they worked their whole life. Probably worked construction, built houses, built roads. Some of these elderly men are the very men that built this entire city. And look, I like this. Look, it says "Lie, you die." Right? See, this is on the sidewalk right down the street from the homeless shelter, dude. This may be overall safe city to be at, but right here on the street over here, this shit is not safe for most people, and most people would not be able to survive this. I've been in worse, so this is like a daycare center to me compared to the places that I've been. But look, there's already trash on the ground. See, there's people here with mental illness, or maybe some of these people just feel like they've been so shitted on and forgotten by society that they just throw shit down, like don't care, right? So either they're mentally ill, or it's just that fact they've been getting shit on by society for so long. This actually ain't the worst I've ever seen. That little pile, usually that's like 100th of what it looks like out here. So somebody clearly came out here and started picking up shit. Even though there is trash on the ground, it's not nothing like I've seen it. I've seen it way worse than this. Believe me, I have seen it way worse than this. And everybody's probably at the heating library now, coughing and sneezing and everything else. And listen, the heating library is one of the best resources out here. They're trying to do the best they can. People have fell out there, and there's a place called Interfaith Sanctuary back here. See this street? This is what they call Cooper Court, Cooper Alley. You do not want to be here at night sometimes. Oh yeah, speaking of, remember how I said my car got vandalized the other day, and I actually had to sell it. It was that damaged. I did not feel safe in it. There's no window in it. Look, there's my back window right there. That's my window, my back window. You know why? Because I have ran off some motherfuckers out here that want to prey upon people that have mental illness and beat on people. And me being ex-military, what was part of that oath? I swore an oath to protect Americans from enemies, foreign and domestic. And yes, this was really my car. Remember I had that little van? Look, let's play some Scrabble. Let's see if all the letters are even here. Let's see, where's the other letters? See, because I know they're here. Just so if anybody thinks I'm making this up, where's the V at? Well, doesn't look like it's there. It was my Dodge Caravan, Caravan, right? There's a few letters missing. Oh, here's an R. Nope. This is another letter because it was a TSX or some shit like that. There's a T, it looked like. But it was a Dodge Caravan. It's just ruined now. Destroyed. And whenever I saw somebody did that, and the reason why it got vandalized is because I sat out here whenever I needed to jump because my battery had died. And these people behind an Interfaith. Now, mind you, the night crew, they're really good people. The evening crew, they're really, really good people. But the morning crew seem to just not give a fuck about nothing, right? I'm out here with my my vehicle, giving people rides and to their POs and all this stuff. So I've said this, I couldn't say it enough. I'm basically like a broken fucking record on this. Take them to their POs, take them to their job interviews. Preach a little philosophy here and there. Make sure that they get what they got to do as far as resources, because nobody else is going to drive them to Nampa to get an ID from Boise. They can't walk there. That's like a 25-30 minute drive from here. So walking would be many, many hours. If you're handicapped or mentally ill or you have an addiction issue, you're not going to walk that far. You're not walking that far. But this place back here, which looks like a fucking prison, by the way. Looks like a fucking prison, you know, because people want to steal bikes and shit. I get it. But they have all this space in the front and very little sleep space. I don't get that. I just don't get it. They're running out of space, right? Well, look, the night crew, really good people. Like the evening crew, I can vouch for the evening crew. They do everything right. They social distance 6 feet apart. You have to pass the COVID test to get in. And if you don't pass, or if you're not, if you don't show symptoms when you do the test, then you have to wait a few days. And if you wait a few days, you're going to be out here a few days. Do you see anywhere, a group of people could sleep at comfortably? And look at the weather in Boise. It is not for the faint of heart. It's cold right now and the sun's up. And usually there's piles of trash everywhere. I've seen people shit over here in the fucking wall because they're too scared to go around the corner because the cops are always there fucking with people. That's human shit, by the way. Look at that. Human fucking feces right there. That's what happens when you forget the homeless in your city. They're being forced to live outside like a stray dog because of COVID and this and that and the other. Now look, the evening crew has to do this. They have to say, hey, if you ain't testing negative for COVID, you can't stay here. I get that. But where are the tents? Where are the tents for these people to stay at in quarantine? They tell everybody stay at home, stay at home, stay at home, stay at home. You hear it all the time, stay at home. What if somebody don't have a fucking home? Where are they supposed to stay at? The fucking dirt? Because you know what happens when you lay on the sidewalk? If I wasn't out here, you know what would be happening? Because it hasn't happened lately because I told them not to do it. It'll be in the movie. I said, when people are out here laying on the sidewalk, you don't kick them with your steel-toe boots and tell them to get up. Because that's where I was in February, right there. And they kicked me in my fucking leg. I was not homeless. I had left Boise. It's just I had to come back for court because the cops here were assholes and pinched me on some dumb shit for knocking on a door too loud. Are you kidding me? Was that worth a vet sitting here? Because court is right down the street, the courthouse. So yeah, I chose this right here. I didn't have a lot of money. And I sat right there. I couldn't sleep till 5:30 in the morning because everybody's parked in their cars, doing their little thing, being loud till about 5:30 in the morning. I had like 2 hours of sleep, and the cops roll up on me, and I'm laying right here, and my busted ass ankle, right? And I went bam. They went like bam, right in my ankle. They said, "Hey, get up." And I jolted up in pain, and they flinched like they was gonna do something to me. I said, "Dude, I got metal in my foot. Chill out." And that's how I woke up. You wanna know why? Because I'm a man, and they thought I was just some hobo out here. I was pretty bitter about that shit. And I was very aware. This was just a few weeks after my coronavirus update video in February, where I explained how all this happened and what my theory on this was going to be. And everything I said, it's happening, right? And the only reason why I was sleeping on that fucking sidewalk is because how dare I make a YouTube video about River of Life, which is right down the street, because they removed those hand sanitizing stations that were freely given to them by generous people like me and the guy that started the COVID-19 Boise deterrent, COVID-19 Boise deterrent team. And Facebook archived that group, and I got screenshots of that, which means they shut it down for no reason. Because we were ahead of the government. We reacted before the government. We were not being radical. Those were really nice foot pump hand sanitizers that you would see at festivals. And because I criticized River of Life and said, you guys are not taking this shit seriously. Look, most people could probably not think about this as serious as the homeless. This is destroying their lives. I'm seeing it, okay? I'm taking it more seriously than I did before, and I was taking it more seriously than a lot of people. And I even said a few times, I think some of this, shit is a hoax where, you die from cancer, some other illness, and you just happen to have, you may be asymptomatic to the fucking COVID. But no matter what, no matter why you're actually dying, from cancer or some other shit, they want to say, oh, you died from COVID. Oh, you died from COVID. Even if it's not true. So that way these hospitals can get more funding. And it is bullshit. But anyways, I criticized ROL. And they didn't know this, though. But when they kicked me out, I had a private live stream where I recorded their stupid asses so I could have it time-stamped. of them kicking me out. And the guy that runs the place, I won't say his name yet. I won't give, too much away too early. But he said in part of that stream, he said, quote, we're River of Life. We can do what we want. We're privately owned. And that was back in February, after he was talking all that crap and kicking me out because I made a YouTube video criticizing them for getting rid of those nice ass expensive hand sanitizer stations. And I recently found a clip of the news just stroking the ego of all these places, like, oh, they just did so fucking well, right, to deter COVID. Dude, the first wave wasn't shit. It was barely the end of March and shit. Look, it wasn't season for this shit. Now it is, and I'm seeing this thing just plague the fucking whole place. And nobody has mentioned a state of emergency in Boise other than me. That's why they held that live stream for 17 fucking hours, which I've never seen a live stream be held for 17 hours in my life. And then I threatened them, that I'm talking to their advertisers for YouTube, and they agree with that type of video being played. So why would YouTube be hiding it, right? And then suddenly, after I complained and I said that, what I was going to do, suddenly, I go off that live stream yesterday morning, and suddenly, oh man, the live stream that was hidden the whole time before that, it was suddenly public again. So there's some fuckery, and I screenshotted that shit because it even said, 17, it was uploaded 17 minutes ago. That don't make no sense. Because there was multiple times last night where I had full service, or the other night during that, or after the live stream, I had full service during, before, and after that, walking around town. And then the cops were clearly gang stalking me because how did they show up so fast? Is it because I was criticizing how they kick people on the damn sidewalk out here? I'm not a part of no political group. Look, there's groups like BLM. They burn cities down. I ain't about that. I'm not trying to be about that. I'm trying to prevent that type of shit, if anything, by telling them, hey, just don't do that. I mean, common fucking sense that shit could catch up to your ass one day. Don't kick people because you don't know what that person went through. Look, these cops that judge everybody for sleeping on the sidewalk, I would encourage them to come out here and sleep on the sidewalk and see how good you feel. See if it's something that you would actually choose if you had no other way. Because I'm telling you right now, I've done it. I've slept out here. Most of the time, I try to get away from here. But because my car is damaged, I sold it. So I am kind of homeless temporarily until I get done with my videos. Something always tells me to stay just a little bit longer because there's always something else to talk about out here. And it is disgusting. These are humans. It's mostly men, but not all of them are pieces of shit. But here's the deal. There's a study that I happened to find today. I think it's a study done by the Times, an analysis that says something like this, which I will look it up, and I encourage you guys to look up this stuff too. There's an analysis that says the longer you are outside, the longer you're homeless, you are more and more likely each and every day to come down with mental illness and or an addiction issue. Knowing all of this, we should be banding together as a people. I know we're distracted with all these other things, but you guys really need to really look at the humanity that is being lost at the bottom out here. I'm only one man, and this is only one city and one street. I can't solve everybody's fucking problems worldwide, but the way these men are being treated out here is fucking disgusting. I'm not gonna sit here and be quiet about it. My homie Danny the other day got fucking arrested, and yeah, he was a drug addict. He really was. When I first met him, I did not like him because he was just gone. He didn't seem like somebody who could come back. I caught him on a day where he couldn't find his fix. Had a few, words with him. And he seemed like a really nice guy. He's just down on his luck. I said, man, roll with me, man. I said, I got a car. Just roll with me. We drove around. I started talking to him, getting to know him. We even went to the hot springs away from this place. Went camping. And I said, brother, I walk with God. And so this ain't no propping up no religion. I don't believe in religion. I believe in faith. There is a difference. A lot of these religions is just stories of guys that don't read books, but they're talking to God. I've been doing the same thing. That's why I'm not dead. Okay? He says, Mike, you're running out of gas. There's no way you're going to drive 2 hours into the mountains, much less ever make it back. And so basically, long story short, we drive 2 hours into the mountains. We camp. It was cold, but hey, we made it. I made a fire, made breakfast out there on the fire. There was even another couple out there. They were arguing part of the night. Probably because his girl was probably mad that there were other people like having fun out there, being loud and having fun. Because we're not allowed to have fun out here. We're not allowed to be loud out here. We have to be obedient to the system that is steadily oppressing us and kicking us. And see, this is what I wanted to stress to BLM if you're watching. It doesn't matter what race you are. It matters what status you are, but you're still a man being abused in the system. Because the difference between this and Chicago, look, there's more homelessness in Chicago, I get that. But here in Boise, it's coming because it's the fastest growing city. It will be next. But here's the difference between Chicago and Boise is the majority of homelessness here is white people. It just depends on where you live. But they're being treated just as bad as these black men that you see in these videos. It's just not being covered. That's another reason why I came out here, is to prove this point to the BLM that it's men in general with low status, no matter what race you are, that are being shitted on by the system. Men are being shitted on. If you're in Chicago, the men there being shitted on by the system are black. If you're in Boise, the men being shitted on by the system are mostly white. It does not matter about race, so stop buying into it. Stop buying into it. It's all about status and mostly about gender, because look, there are women out here, like I said, they go out there for a few hours and make all kinds of money flying cardboard in just a few hours. And they spend it on stupid shit because they know if they leech onto some desperate man out here, he'll pay for everything else. I call it shopping, where these women go out here and shop these men. Oh, he's got an extra bike. I want that. Oh, he's got an extra tent. Oh, I want that. Let me go flirt with him. That's what these women are doing. Oh, let me go flirt with this guy and get a bunch of extra shit. And it's getting messy. And you see guys fighting over women out here that none of them are ever going to hook up with. But they're getting played. Part of that is actually why Danny got fucking in trouble the other night. It wasn't his fault. He wasn't sitting there having different guys go to his tent, or different girls go to his tent, like she was having different guys, right? And because that was all going on, they all left the tent because there was a bunch of drama over that, which it happens all the time. It happens all the time. Same girl that keeps doing that shit. If she would have just, not been a hoe and all that, they would all have been asleep that night and nothing would have ever played out. Nothing would have ever happened. But he decided, I'm going to go out and hustle instead of sleeping in his tent, because he just wanted to get away from that damn drama. And I had been trying to slowly red pill him over this, that what he needs to focus on is getting off the street, not some other little skank out here that's going to hold him back and make him angry and make him feel bad about himself because she's not loyal. And I found out she'd been out here 10 years. She don't look like it, but she'd been out here damn 10 years, since she was 15. And all these men on the streets being played by this girl. I've seen a lot of men, you ever see a dog that's in heat, and all the dogs, all the male dogs miles and miles away just show up and follow that dog around, sniff and follow that dog around. There's a girl out here that's like that. And she has brought down a lot of men, destroyed a lot of brotherhood that men have had out here because she a hoe. Brotherhood is how you survive in the streets. So you got that going on out here. You got a city that says, here's a sandwich, have a nice day, good luck with being homeless. I go around, I'm like, what opportunities do you have? Oh, there's a temp job agency out here that you have to walk a few miles to. There's some people that can't even walk because they're handicapped. There's some people that don't know what time it is or what day it is because they're mentally handicapped as well. And they're being forgotten out on the streets. And I'm telling you guys, it snowed the other day, and luckily it melted within a few hours. But I was thinking while the snow was going, I was like, how many of these people are going to die out here? How many of these people are going to freeze to death out here when so many people get COVID and they're not able to keep up with the tests, and they're not able to rapid test people fast enough? There shouldn't be an alternative test. It should be rapid test everybody that's homeless, that is outside, because your life is at risk if you don't get rapid testing. You'll be outside. Somebody could rob you. Somebody could fuck up your car if you're sitting in your car. Luckily, I was not in it when it happened, because you guys know I wasn't gonna just take that shit if I was in my car. What's sad is, I'll admit, I lost my mind when my car was mashed on, because then I was like, fuck it, you guys want to mash my car? I took the bat to the car and just snapped. So I had a temporary moment of mental illness myself, because I was wanting to get a jump. And there was this guy that was at the Interfaith, a morning crew. Now, like I said, there's a place called Interfaith Sanctuary back here, right? The evening crew, they're really good people, but the morning crew is not like that. The evening crew, they take the 6-foot rule seriously, and if you haven't passed a COVID test, seriously. But in the morning, different people are here, and you can just walk in the mornings. See, they have it closed right now, but hey, first thing in the morning, I could just walk here. I could have COVID and just walk up in there and get coffee, bum cigarettes off people, and half these people pick up cigarettes off the damn ground and smoke it. I could just walk in there and in the morning, whereas in the evening, they got there's like a checkpoint over there. They got little spray paint stuff, orange spots on the ground where you have to be 6 feet apart. And the masks ain't working, by the way. The masks are not working. This proves it. This is like pressing fast forward on what the rest of you guys are about to go through. And there's a guy here, I won't say his name, but you'll see his face in the damn movie, because I recorded him admitting that he lied to me and had no reason to do it. No reason, just judgment. I said, hey, you know, sir, you said you was gonna jump my car, and I've been waiting about an hour. Like, are you gonna do it? I mean, I have to, you know, bring people to job interviews and whatnot. And he said, no, I'm not gonna jump your car. I can't. I don't have any cables. I said, well, earlier you kind of implied that you did have cables. And he goes off and says, well, to be honest, I don't want to hurt my car when I jump your car. I said, what do you mean? That's not gonna hurt your car. I said, dude, come on, just tell me you don't want to jump my car. Just tell me you don't want to jump it. And then he straight looks at me and says, I don't want to jump it. And I said, what did I ever do wrong? And there was no answer, nothing. He actually said nothing, I believe. That's fucked up. How can you call this place interfaith or a sanctuary? You know, you're supposed to be solving homelessness, but yet, like, the one guy that's driving people around and drove 2,500 miles to make this movie, and I love this place. I do. I love it. But the morning crew is completely different. And, you know, everybody here wasn't acting like he did that morning, but they sat here and took it. They sat here and took it. And look, they thought they were slick and called the cops. Look, during that whole time, my car was being smashed by somebody else. Windows were being smashed and all that shit, because they didn't jump me. I was sitting in my car. Perhaps if I was sitting in my car and he was jumping my car earlier like he promised, perhaps that wouldn't have happened. And then I snapped because it was damaged. I started hitting the fucking sides, you know, where the tires, like right here, and the little trim over it. I started kicking it and smacking it and shit, because I was fucking pissed at the way it looked. If I would even claimed it for insurance, it would have been a total. So I didn't care anymore. I didn't care. Some of these guys out here need a car anyway, and I was honestly planning on ditching that car regardless. But it's so sad that I couldn't get more money out of it. I had to sell it for $225 is what I did. I went from wanting to sell it for at least $500 as having some electrical issues. Nothing like completely major. You can still drive it, it's still good. It's got a V6. It's an amazing, you know, vehicle. It's better than being told to sleep outside. So there's a gentleman that was out here, and he looks like he's doing the right thing in life, trying to get his life on track. And he said, hell, I'll take this car. And the next day it gets vandalized out here. So just being a nice person, I lowered it by about half, and it was already very cheap, you know, the price I was going to put on it. It's really disgusting how these men are being treated. And then when they have nowhere else to go, when they get just enough money to scrape by, enough pennies and nickels to scrape by, they want to go to the budget inn. And you see what happened over there. You see how they treated the homeless over there just now. So I love, and like I said, don't talk down on Interfaith, because it's ran by a really, really sweet woman. I've actually done my research on her. She's a really kind and sweet woman, okay? There's not a lot of women in the world that have that type of mentality for homeless men. There's not a lot of women like that. I'll never say she's an adult. You know, we know what that means. But at the same time, she's exceptional. She stands out from the bunch. And she's a good woman. She doesn't know that her employees are shitting all over her faith. The morning ones. Because I just don't get how it's as if they, you know, either that or people actually believe that, oh, you can catch corona at nighttime when you're sleeping, but you can't catch it in the morning because people just waltz on in there in the morning time. There's nobody checking temperatures in the morning. There's nobody saying, hey, did you pass a COVID test in the morning? None of that. People just waltz on in there, and I got video of that. But at the evening time, they're doing everything right. But unfortunately, the seasons do not care, and it is ass cold out here, and you will die in that cold if you have no way to not freeze to death. And if you have mental illness and you're told to go outside, maybe you don't have the test results, you're told to go outside and you have mental illness, you might be prone to want to drink and then perhaps freeze to death. You might be told, hey, just go over to ROL. That's their little thing that they sell a lot of these guys. You know, they tell you to go from Interfaith if they won't let you in. Go to River of Life, right? The place that denied the hand sanitizing stations in February. If you go over there, the outbreak is so immense, it was completely unchecked up until just about a week, not even a week ago, they started finally checking temperatures, even though they were the ones at ROL having the massive outbreaks first. And now all these other shelters are having massive outbreaks. Even though at least all of these other shelters were at least trying to have some precautions out there, some rules and regulations. And the sad truth is everybody believed what the WHO, you know, the World Health Organization, all these other people had to say about face masks. They go, oh, just put on face masks. You know what that was? That was to make you feel better. That was a placebo. That was just to make you feel better because it ain't working. If you've ever put on shades or glasses and your glasses fogged up, you know what's fogging that up? Your breath. Do you really think these masks work? What's the difference between fogging up your glasses and your breath going up, droplets falling down on the person 6 feet behind you? What's the difference between that and just standing there without a mask? What's the difference? How you felt when it happened. That's the difference. Because if you got these masks on, I'm telling you, I bet your glasses fog up. Or go get, if you've never tried it, just go somewhere and buy like a Dollar Tree pair of shades and put it on with your mask. If it starts to fog up, your mask does not work. Just so you know. Just so you know. So they're making people suffer with these damn masks. It's fucking up your face, putting lines on it, making some of you break out pimples and zits, making you look older. But at least you're probably brushing your teeth more, right? So there's always that. There's always a silver lining somewhere. And then you got this place over here. I'm going to show you something, guys. This is the place that I told you I was face to face with a Jesuit. So I'm not going to say the word Jesuits when I roll up here, but I want you to read something on this mural and tell me if that's of God. Okay, this mural looks beautiful till you look at these little tombstones and read it. And the tombstone that's on the right, I swear to God, that's how I feel. Because, you know, talking about this stuff and feeling it once more through a red pill lens, it's insane. So I want to show you this little mural. This is where I have come face to face with the Jesuits. He admitted he was a Jesuit. And he even said, quote, that the Pope was his boss. Okay, not making it up. Dude, look at this fucking mural right here. I'm going to protect their faces so they don't have their faces in it. Alright, look at this. Read this shit, tell me if that's Christian. Come on. What is this? It says, hang by mistake. He was right. We was wrong. But we strung him up and now he's gone. Why would you put that on a mural? A Christian mural? That's disgusting. Look, but it's so small that you never even notice it. But look, the rest of it looks beautiful. Look, but look at this. Look, what is this? You guys ever wonder what that is? Look at that fucking eye. We're not going to put on our tinfoil hats here, right? The Jesuits get to work here, and it's only to make their little resume look good, so that way you don't think they're up to something. Kind of ironic how the Jesuits want to work at facilities where there are COVID outbreaks. Come on, guys, don't make me spell it out for you, because I'm not going to make them block this fucking stream. Don't you think that's odd? Those things you just read, that place is called the Corpus Christi House. Okay? I met a guy who admitted he was a Jesuit. He had Roman sandals on and everything. And it kind of looked like he was wearing a wig and had a bulletproof vest on. Now, maybe his hair just looks fucked up. Maybe he just has some weird shaped man titties because he probably eats soy. Who fucking knows? But he had the Roman sandals on. And if you insult people at these shelters, they can just be like, "Ah, get the fuck out of here," right? He didn't even like bat an eye or cause a scene. He just looked very pissed off when I started asking him these hard questions about the Jesuits oath and about the leaden bullet and poison cup and all that stuff. And he was denying it. And then what did I do? I get in my car and I play it. I actually play a recording of it being spelled out word for word. And then he looks up. Now, mind you, I did not get to record that moment because you just don't get to record 24/7. That's one of the most crucial moments that I wish I would have recorded it, but it was just on the spot. I had no moment to sit there and think about it. No way to charge the phone up yet. It was still on the charge. And when I got a few clips of him, I only had like 4, maybe 5%. I was lucky to get a clip of him at all because he was pacing around my car at one point, not saying nothing. There's a lot more to that, but hey, you'll see the video. And I have no reason to show somebody's face and call them a Jesuit. I have no reason to say that unless it's the fucking truth. Unless he admitted it. Because then he could come out later and say, "I'm not a Jesuit." But I bet he doesn't come out later and say that. I bet he doesn't. But we won't go there. I've been gang stalked multiple times since then, guys. My life is on the line right now. You have no idea the other things that I've gone through. And it's worth it to me to expose this shit. It's just kind of odd how these homeless men are being treated like garbage during this COVID outbreak, and they're the ones dying. They're the ones dying. There's elderly out here that kind of cough and sneeze every now and then, but you don't see them falling out. Because River of Life, when they feed you, they let women come in there eat as well. I don't see women falling out. When I go to the heating library, I don't see women falling out. It's mostly elderly men. And they are actually falling out every day. And you don't see them coming back. So I know some of them must be dying out there because they're just disappearing out here. And a lot of them being locked up in some of these facilities. Not allowed to leave. River of Life has dorms where they're not allowed to leave because they have COVID, right? River of Life is causing some of this outbreak. Even right now, even though they're checking temperatures finally because they know I'm out here. And they know who I am. They're not stupid. They know who I am. They finally put hand sanitizer stations inside their little lunchroom, but they're not telling people to use it. And that's the one way people are catching it. They get it on their hand, they touch their eye, touch their nose, whatever, you know. And some people have mental illness, so they're not going to be conscious of this anyways. And their showers are so disgusting. They're like prison showers. I've been locked up before. They look like prison showers where the next guy can see the next dude's dick and balls. So you're sharing germs inside that shit. And when you get dressed, you're sitting next to the next to you in a smaller area, smaller than the showers. And if you shit, you're shitting right next to an open door where another guy is shitting. Could have been puking in that toilet, yada yada. And they don't clean up the toilets after they use them out here. I've seen the toilets. They look like prison bathrooms at River of Life. At least at Interfaith Sanctuary, you can shit with the door closed. You get perfect hygiene. You have to pass a COVID test to stay the night. Now the morning crew doesn't care about social distancing. If you pass the test, they let people in and out of there. I got videos of it. The morning crew disrespects the mission over here. But River of Life, you know, at least Sanctuary has, it gives you dignity. to shower with privacy, individual showers, 10-minute waiting limits. The showers are reasonably clean. So you can tell they care about people a little bit more over here. And at least you got, a fence, fence around your bikes. For such a big, this is a small place over here, for River of Life to be such a big place and have all those bikes sitting out front, no gate around it. That's insane. That's insane. Not in this environment. You should not tell these people, well, you should put a chain on it, and that's it. Things are getting more and more desperate out here by the day, and this city needs more resources for the homeless. And if you guys don't give this place more more resources, more funding, and crack down on the people that are purposely being negligent, that are in charge of some of these places. And there's good people at River of Life. There are some good people there. There are some good people, a lot of good people actually at Interfaith. But there's also shitheads that are shitting on the good people and their good efforts. The guy that runs River of Life walks around like he's a fucking warden. And he's a piece of shit. He knows what he said to me in February. Thought I was some homeless guy. And now those hens are going to come to roost. Those hens are going to come to roost hard. That little budget inn down the street, setting up homeless men with shitty trap house looking rooms. Because they look at you at face value and say, I'm going to stereotype you. And I'm going to ask for a deposit and never give it back to you because somebody else came up to your hotel. Have you guys ever stayed at a hotel when you went to go visit your family? And then your family shows up and maybe spends the night in the hotel with you? How come the homeless people can't consider each other a family? You want to know why? Because we're all we got out here, right? I say we because right now, I'm a part of this right now. But I'm going to get to leave. These guys don't get to leave. I'm going to get to leave in just a week or so because I'm done. I'm done with it. I've already had my contingency plan lined up. How come homeless men are being forgotten to such a degree that if it wasn't for me, ROL probably wouldn't even be checking temperatures right now. And look, I found a clip where, because the outbreak had happened so late in the winter and just kind of disappeared off into the distance, it didn't have time to really fester up things. There's people in the media just stroking these places' egos. Like they just did everything right. Oh, they must have done everything right for COVID. Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember how these places were just, again, patting themselves on the back and then going back to business as usual, saying, here's a sandwich, here's a blanket. We solved homelessness. There's people out here that have been out here years and years and years. Some with mental illness, some with addiction. And they're just slamming them into the damn fucking jail cells. They don't care what's in your heart. They don't care what your dreams are. They just care about what's in your fucking pockets. And ROL is just like that. They had metal detectors before they had temperature gauges to check your temperatures when you came in. They had metal detectors though, so they cared more about what was in your pockets than what was, attacking your immune system. River of Life does not care about the homeless. They don't. It's just a job to them. It's just a 9 to 5 to some of them. And some of them, work late hours and just sit on their ass and probably fucking watch, fucking videos on YouTube as well. I hope they watch this one. I hope they watch all the ones that are going to be coming out. They're going to be edited to the max. And what's funny is they think that it's punishing me by not letting me stay at River of Life. It's only making my point more clear. Look, I deserve an apology for what they did in February. I drove many miles for that apology. I know I'm not going to get it. I know I'm not going to get it. But they're going to be sorry regardless. And they need to have the people that are running that, they need to have some of them step down. Because I got videos of them harassing other homeless people, bullying them out, singling them out. Some of them with mental illnesses and other things. And they just bullying them and swarming them. But as soon as I pull out that camera, they kind of keep the distance suddenly. What happened to the 6 feet rule, right? They think they're immune to criticism, or you just get to freeze to death. They can treat you how you want, or you just freeze to death. Look, I'm ex-military. I'll never freeze to death under any situation. There's nothing that can kill me unless somebody puts a bullet in my head. If you don't put a bullet in my head, I ain't gonna die. Period. Period. In a story. I come down with an illness and still fucking outlive any projection as far as my life, my lifespan goes. I'm stubborn as fuck. I bet you I outlive anything that happens to me. But I'm gonna sit here till my dying breath and expose this shit. I am. And if you have a city with a COVID outbreak, I bet you money, your homeless shelters are being treated the same fucking way the people that are there. Being treated like they can't make a complaint. Imagine like going to a hotel and not being able to make a complaint, or not being able to have your family come see you while you're at the hotel. Imagine that, right? That would never happen to you, right? Because you're a normal person with a normal life. But if you're homeless, you can't have family come see you. You can't be treated a certain way because you can't do nothing about it. And they wave that cold street over your head. They wave that cold ass street over your head because it's wintertime, and say they're almost like, say something about us negative. I dare you. And then you end up on the street. What if you made a good point? What if your complaint was a good point? They don't care about that. So it is what it is. And yet they expect you not to come down with mental illness when the world shits on you and forgets you and doesn't give you the resources to get out of the mud and out of this cold ass street. Some of these people have been out here so long, been snowed on, rained on, spit on, looked over, laughed at, mocked, judged, stereotyped, robbed. Some people have been stabbed, killed, drugged up. Some people out here have been raped, both men and women. And yes, men have been raped out here. I've heard stories not repeat. I had to act tough about it and go into the damn porta potty and cry. There was a guy out here that had one fucking limb on a skateboard. Looking at him like he's a freak show. And that man, his arm looked like a tire. And I gave him some gloves. People just overlook him like he ain't there. I didn't do that. Some of these people out here do treat him with respect, but a lot of people just didn't care about the man. I haven't seen him in a long time. I don't know if he's alive, dead, or locked up, or what's going on with that guy. It's terrible. There's people with mental illness that seem to be the ones that can just roam the street, not knowing what time it is. Imagine if your grandma with Alzheimer's was just allowed to just die on the street and walk around. There's people that have similar issues out here, don't know where they're at, what sleeping bag they slept in. They get a car ride somewhere, they get out, go shopping, and they don't even know what car they was in at all. Because I took somebody to the store once because they were freezing to death out here. I got them some food, got them some blankets, came back, put them out there. But hey, before I left that store, they went to I said, hey, go to the car, I'll be there in a minute. They go and sit, mind you, I had a van, right? Had a van before it got vandalized. But anyway, had a van. I'm in the parking lot with my van, right? And I look around and they in another car. Yeah, an actual car, not stealing nothing because they didn't have no pockets. Half clothed, looked like they had rags on. Half clothed, no pockets, just sitting there staring off into the distance, thinking about God knows what, or maybe nothing at all. Just sitting there waiting for something to happen. I come up and I said, hey, you can't be in this car. What are you doing? Oh, I thought this was your car. No, it's not. Oh, and then I was like, that's my van over there. I have a van. So they get into my van and I say, hey, stay right here. Here's your food. That distracted them long enough. I went back into the store and said, hey, this individual, I gave a ride up here. They were freezing out on the streets. They have mental illness and they're being forgotten by society. I bought them food, blankets, and all that, and I got all y'all's boxes from it was like 3 in the morning. So I got all the boxes from your stalkers at a place called Winco, right? They're open 24/7. I said, I'm just trying to make sure this person ain't dead by morning. I'm making sure they ain't gonna die by morning because society forgot them. All this stuff. And I say, hey, but they didn't have any pockets to steal anything, but please go sanitize your employee's car. I'm sure that's an employee's car. Go sanitize it. Sorry about that. just letting you know because, hey, there's viruses out here, so you better sanitize your car. They had no idea what they were doing. And they were very, very forgiving about it. I come back, set up a little spot for them to go back outside because, hey, if that person's that off, I don't really want them in my car while I'm asleep. And that's sad because I still worried about that. But I gave them enough to survive. Food, stomach, in their stomach, and compassion. And that's how you lower crime, is you give somebody compassion. You care about them. Right? And you show them more help than just giving them a damn sandwich and saying, all right, have a good day. That's what I was out here to do, guys, was make these videos, but not to like make me feel good, but to show what's wrong with society and how easy it is to solve problems if people just do it the right way. You can solve some of these problems. It's really not that hard. You don't need a politician to come out here and do what I've been doing. I don't ever want to. I'm not sure if they're open or not. I wouldn't be surprised if they're closed. There's a massive outbreak right now. So, yeah, Corpus Christi place that had the mural with the Illuminati looking crap on it and talking about some psycho ass shit on those tombstones. Pretty psycho on that shit. They've been closing on and off. And it's one of the only centers during the day that you can go to during the day that will give you a shower, but they only have a few showers for men and a few showers for women. And very limited resources, very limited. But they have enough resources to send Jesuits out here to check temperatures so they can pat themselves on the back. Pretty interesting how that works. But anyways, it's interesting how that works. We all know what the Jesuits really are, and to sit there and have somebody admit that that's what they are, it's kind of shocking. I'm actually not really sure. I don't think they are, but they might be. I just don't see that. If they're open, they would have picnic tables in the front, and they'd be checking temperatures. They might be closed temporarily because there's a massive outbreak of COVID. Were you aware of that? Yeah, there's a massive outbreak of COVID right now, and people are falling out during dinner time and stuff. Just at all these centers, really. The library, I have footage of somebody passing out in the library, and ROL and Sanctuary have all had multiple cases of people just falling out. That's why I don't sleep out here. I literally don't, sleep on the street no more. My car got vandalized, so I can't sleep in that. I camp out a ways away from here because I'm not trying to get sick over here.
Me either. I'm pregnant and I have a weak immune system. My OB was worried I was going to get COVID when I got out of jail. She didn't want me to get released in the first place.
Hey, well, be careful out there. We got social distance. Hey, be careful out there. I'm sure if you go to ROL, I'm sure they'll help you, because hey, ROL will help women quicker than they'll help the men out here. Like they really will.
I don't
So,
want to see my friend getting COVID because he lives in Africa. I was like,
hey, well, I would ask them. They might know when they're going to open. Maybe they change their hours, but I have no idea. I have no interest in getting any help from these people because I pretend to be homeless to show how homeless get forgotten out here. So that's all I'm doing.
some clothes because that's all I have. Clothes.
Clothes, dang.
That's all I have.
That's all you got. If you're outside, you're not gonna be able to survive with that pregnant. So.
Oh, I almost miscarried.
You almost miscarried, huh?
This is like a few years ago.
Dang it. Well, Corpus is the only place that would give out clothes that would keep you alive on the streets.
Get all my clothes, my ex-boyfriend.
And they're not open, I don't think. So if Corpus isn't open, then a lot of people are not going to be able to clothe themselves on the streets.
Which is bullshit because on Google it says they're open, but it says they're old hours. It doesn't create the normal hours, the new hours.
Dang it.
Has Interfaith been open at all?
I know they were closed for a few weeks when the first outbreak happened, and now there's another major outbreak a few weeks later, and a lot of people are being quarantined in these buildings and stuff. And if I don't see a tent out there, I'm assuming that some of their employees might be sick, and so because of that, all their staff have to quarantine. That's probably what happened, most likely, because if one of them gets sick, they do have to shut it down like that. If none of their employees get sick, then they're not going to shut it down. There would be tents out there and all that, but I think somebody that works there, they're not going to tell us. They don't want us to know anything. They just tell us, hey, just wait out here and linger and hope for the best. Maybe you should try to stop smoking cigarettes.
Yeah,
though,
my friend's having a cigarette right now.
And those sodas with the high fructose corn syrup, it's just going to lower your immune system too. So between that and stress, and just be careful out there and tell the baby daddy, man, y'all,
in
y'all.
jail right now.
Oh, he's in jail, huh? Damn. Well,
He's looking for-
sometimes it's not good to go after the bad boy. You know what I mean? So you take care of you and yours, and good luck. I'll pray for you and all that, but it's the best I can do. Because honestly, I lost my vehicle. That's the window to my car. So I feel you, but nobody's gonna help me either, and
Yeah, the
it
problem
sucks.
is,
I mean, you're a female. I'm sure everybody will help you, but the men out here ain't gonna be helped at all.
but my problem is my little brother took off to Oregon with my mom, and he
Hey.
took my coat, so I have his coat. It's way too big on me.
Hey, I would rather wear a big coat than
Yeah,
not. You know.
but he is bigger than me, way bigger. Like,
No.
and
So it's like a
fatness.
tent.
Yeah.
Dang it. Well, at least you have a tent.
I
Well,
can't even remember you can't even see your hands.
the best thing I could tell you is if you're out here, it's not very sanitary,
Yeah, that's
but
not this.
you could always, sit in one of those bathrooms. If it's between life and death,
Yeah,
I would rather sit in that bathroom. It's always unlocked. So
I just got a challenge. 23rd of this month.
I won't judge you, but for what?
Mexican stolen vehicle. They arrested me for having knowledge of the stolen vehicle.
Dang it, you're
They
playing.
arrested me for against that part. They dismissed my charge.
So you were playing GTA in real life.
They dismissed my charge though.
Yeah.
Because I don't have knowledge of it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the truth is a lot of people out here have mental illness and society forgets you, you know what I mean?
I have mental illness and this bloody kid.
I know. And what did they do? They just threw you on the street?
The company I was in was kicked me out.
Dang.
And I don't have a pay right now. And I need to find one because my site is deactivated right now. But I need, here's like, there's no pay, but they don't want my money. They don't want me to pay, so I need to find someone.
Yeah.
I don't want another company because my old company will steal my money.
What's sad is, like, this is why I'm here for a lot of reasons. It tends to be men. Like, sadly, there's not enough women suffering out here for them to like, because if there was more women out here instead of the men, they'd be like, oh, we're going to solve this today. But most people, when they look around, they see a bunch of dudes out here and they just keep driving.
I know.
Right? And they're like, because men are actually kind of forgotten.
Yeah.
And so if you're a woman out here, you're just going to suffer with them, because if they help the women extra, they're going to have to help all these men extra.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be exposed as just ignoring the men. That's really kind of the world that we live in. But
and I forgot something. I logged into my my Help Me Over account for my business benefits and check my stuff.
Yeah.
I have my old payee screwed me over. They did not send proof of income. So starting next month, I won't have food stamps or money anymore.
What did you
insurance?
What did your baby daddy get locked up for?
Felony PV.
Huh?
Felony PV.
I don't know what that is.
Probation violation.
Oh, probation violation.
Probation. We just got out of prison March 10th of this year.
I got a buddy of mine named Danny that was on probation, and he couldn't quit cold turkey the stuff he was doing. I told him to just wean himself off, and we were getting him a job, and he was going to get 14 an hour and get off the streets. And the cops just randomly messed with him because he was my friend, and got him with a probation violation before he could get better. So I understand, it sucks,
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
but that's what they're doing out here. So
If I didn't get arrested on August 31st, I would never quit doing drugs. And I would never find out I was pregnant if I didn't get arrested that day.
well, the thing is
Since August 31st.
the thing is like, and like, I'm not trying to make a gender thing here, but this is the facts. If you're a dude, you're going to get like 65% harder sentencing for things like that. So it's easy for somebody to say, oh, well, I'm out here, I got free. But if it was a guy, it probably would have been 65% more of a heavier sentence. So just count your blessings and be glad you're not a guy, because you're going to see a lot of dudes just falling out at these mills and stuff, and it's going to get worse. So now, if I was you, I would talk to Interfaith up here. They help men and women as well. They may have coats there. I don't know. I've never asked them for a coat.
They did last winter. I don't know how good their stuff is on.
But I would go there like right now while they're still there, because they're probably going on lunch soon. So good luck with you. And hey, watch out for a lot of these guys.
I know that guy.
A lot of these guys out here are just the bad boy. You know what I mean? You gotta stay. You gotta look for the nice guy out there. I know there ain't any maybe out here, but.
Sean is willing to rest his parole. He let me stay at his halfway house a couple times.
Hey, well, hey, don't say that too loud, Good luck, but just remember, don't date the bad boy. Damn it. Dang it. Dang, that's rough, guys. You see that? She has mental illnesses and addiction, just like I've been saying. But the guys are having the same problem too, obviously. But she still has that dark female nature, wants to go after the bad boys while she's out here. And it's just female nature. It doesn't matter the matter of intellect or illness or whatever. They all want the bad boy, isn't it like that? And that's really sad. And she's pregnant, and she got addiction problems, and she's mentally ill, and they locked up her baby daddy, who's a bad boy, who also probably has the same problems. So they're creating these types of family systems out here on the streets of Boise, just so you know. Just so you know. That poor child is probably going to grow up and hate their parents if they're normal at all. And probably be taken away from the mother. Hopefully, hopefully they don't have to really know where they came from. Hopefully somebody adopts that child and takes care of it, gives it a normal life. But she can't even put the cigarettes down because, number one, she's mentally ill. Number two, they locked up her man on a probation violation out here. And all kinds of shit. Look, the problems out here are so complex, guys, that you'd almost have to see it to believe it. And it's not easy to sit here and watch this week after week after week after week. You know, I was just reminding her to count her blessings because men are out here suffering a little bit worse. You know, suffering a little bit worse. So, you know, when she's talking about this and that and the other, I'm like, hey, at least you got a light sentence. You know, at least your sentencing was light. And it was light because she has mental illness, right? And we all know that's why, and her gender, because she's a female, and she has mental illness. She's got light sentencing. If you're a dude out here, they don't care if you have mental illness or addiction or anything, or if you're gonna have a kid soon, if you're a man, they ain't gonna care about that shit. They don't care about that. They just lock your ass up. Even if you're trying to get better, if you're trying to look for a way out, they don't care about that. They don't do it. They don't care. And it's hard to deal with reality when you're out here. I can kind of see why these people are on mind-altering things. It's hard to be out here. The reality out here is so unreal, it's disgusting. And you see, the race of most people out here is white. All right, they're being treated just as shitty as Christopher, or whatever his name is, Garner, or whatever. The police officer that was in Cali a while back, a couple years ago. He was an officer, right? He had witnessed a female officer beat on some mentally ill person on the streets, and he reported her, and they said he lied about it, even though he was telling the truth. They stripped him of his rights as an officer, like he was doing the right thing, like saying, hey, this officer's kicking homeless people with mentally ill problems. His name was it was Christopher Dorner, my bad. Christopher Dorner was his name. Yeah, he was an officer, and basically when they destroyed his life because he told the truth about another officer assaulting a mentally ill man out in California, I believe it was Los Angeles. Yeah, they destroyed his life, and he snapped. He was ex-military. He started picking off officers. Now, I would never support such a thing. I would never support that, taking it that route. But I understand his madness. For somebody to destroy his life like that, when he was telling the truth, look, you look at some of these other cities where there's African Americans being assaulted by cops, being shot, and all that kind of stuff. That stuff happens here to the homeless people here, but they're not black. But guess what they all have in common, other than race? They have one thing in common. It's called status. They have another thing in common called gender. It's mostly happening to men. It's mostly happening to men of low status out on these streets. And they're creating broken family structures amongst the people out here because, look, a woman's going to want a man, whether she's mental or not, whether she got addiction or not. She's going to want a man to kind of feel safe that night, even if it's just for that night, and the next night with a different guy, because some of these girls are tent hopping, like literally tent hopping. If Maury was out here, he'd be like, you know? And who knows, maybe the supposed baby daddy might not even really be the baby daddy in some of these cases. Either way, that kid's not going to have a sound family structure when they grow up. I can just see it. I was being relatively nice about it, but I don't know if you guys heard her, but you could hear her when she talked. You couldn't really hear some of the things that she was saying. I couldn't understand some of the stuff she was actually saying. And she's pregnant and doesn't know where, baby daddy and yada yada. And even when he gets out, obviously he's gonna be right back out on Cooper Alley, the place of broken dreams. Perhaps they could get the COVID, and that just pushes their life down even further because these masks are not working. So anyways, guys, that's today's stream. Don't forget, I'm going to put some information about the Budget Inn down the street that likes to rob homeless men for having prayer circles and having personal meetings in their place. I understand that maybe sometimes homeless people go in there and trash it because, hey, it was trashed by whoever was in there before I was there. But there was a lot of triggers in that room. If you know anything about addiction, you know what triggers are, right? Things that remind you of things. When I went in there, I seen cut up straws, little snippets of dope baggies laying around. I threw that shit away. Yeah, we had a bottle in there, we brought a little bit of alcohol in there, we did. But we weren't being rowdy, we were just kind of sipping it. Kind of like Big John would do with his scotch. Just men, just sitting there sipping some damn whiskey. And we were just watching Westerns, talking about God, talking about the system. What struck me odd is these men mentioned something last night. When we had a brief meeting last night. A couple guys came over, sipped a little bit of scotch, didn't destroy the place, but we all pointed out how trashy it looked. I told them they couldn't stay the night, but they could come back in the morning. We would talk about, getting them jobs and have another prayer circle and whatnot, and what have you. How to pave the way to get off the streets, right? Because I've been on and off the street. I'm choosing to get off the street in a few weeks. Like, it's a choice, and there are ways out. And I'm trying to teach these guys how to get out of here. And so they leave, but the owner, a man-bashing, man-hating female who hates homeless men, I don't know what her deal is, but instead of having understanding and compassion, just like the rest of the world, right? Instead of having understanding and compassion, she spies on us and assumes these men spent the whole night in that hotel. And what difference would that make, right? It's none of her business. We paid for a service, and that's that. That's that, okay? And everybody complained about how dirty that damn place was and how they had all the little cut up straws throughout the damn room. The linens were dirty. There was all kinds of stuff throughout those sheets that I ain't even going to describe right now. I was disgusted, but I was teaching them a lesson of humility and being humble and saying, hey, you see how the last people had left it, right? I said, let's not leave it like that. So the guys that were there last night for just a brief moment, they left, and they came back the next morning, helped me clean it. Now, mind you, they didn't want to clean it as good as my standards. So when two of them left after the prayer circle and whatnot, and we planned our day out, which has now been kind of held up for the stream just temporarily. Planned that day out, and then they left. And the one guy that was there, because me and this other guy, we officially signed up for that room last night. So me and him, we finished the rest of the room, cleaned it up, got all the towels that were all over the floor that could potentially have COVID on them from the last guests that were in there. Some of those towels are very dirty, okay? We put them all in a nice trash bag that was my trash bag that I paid for, by the way, my own trash bags. Picked up all the trash in that damn room. Made the beds look nice. Wiped down the damn bathroom. Even the toilet got wiped down. I picked up all the straws that were cut up and had stuff in it throughout that damn room. All the little baggies that had flakes in it. I picked that shit up and threw it away. Made it look really nice. Put a bag on the outside of the room with the towels that were both ours and the guests the day before, and I had to request new towels the night before last night to even take a shower. I had to request new towels. It just was really odd. I've never been in a hotel where somebody shat on you like that because they assumed you're just some hobo that's going to trash the place. The truth is if you've ever worked in a hotel, everybody trashes the hotel rooms to some degree. Everybody leaves dirty towels on the floor. There's some hotels that you're going to find paraphernalia throughout the day. It just depends on how forgotten the people are in your area. If they're being forgotten, you're going to have addiction. Don't get mad at them. Get mad at your local officials for not giving them any avenues other than locking them up, sticking them outside to freeze to death. And so they try to numb the pain. They finally get enough money to get a room. And yeah, they might be doing this and that and the other sometimes in that place. But it takes men like me, taking men in a room like that and making them clean the last guy's mess so they could see what it's like to clean a room like that. Because I was going to, like, you know, what I did this morning, I said, man, maybe I should start something called, hotels for the homeless, this, that, rooms for the homeless or something like that, where I start a GoFundMe and actually introduce you to some of these guys if they're comfortable and show you the rooms whenever we get there, what they look like firsthand, and then have them clean it up if it was dirty before them. If they're being shitted on like that, clean it up. So that way you can lead by example, and eventually there'll be less and less dirty rooms up there. Less and less. And they won't have no excuse to treat people like crap. That's how you solve things, guys. You have to think outside the box. And that runs that budget inn over there on Fairview in between 27th and 23rd, she is so dumb and narrow-minded that she's sitting there trying to ruin that and not even knowing it. Not even knowing it, because she probably shits on a lot of homeless guys out there. I like how I turned the phone around on her ass and showed her, hey, this is a real live stream. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. And she is. So I hope you guys share this live stream and go give her a nice little crappy ass review. It's here in Boise, Idaho, on Fairview, between 23rd and 27th, just behind Interfaith Sanctuary. Look, I'm lacking by saying this stuff. I don't care. I don't care. I've got protection out here. If somebody messes with me, good luck making it down the block. Good luck. Don't mess with me. I'm going to finish my mission. Anyways, guys, I'm going to read these comments. I'm going to chill, smoke a cigarette, because I have to calm down. I'm very riled up after the disrespect this morning. After I drive 2,500 miles, I come up here, look. Guys, look, I might have not said this, and I waited a while. I had little side jobs here and there, and I wasn't immediately out here. I was thinking and meditating on how I'm going to do this, on what it would take to do this, okay? It wasn't something you could just jump in and do, and plus, there was no outbreaks at the time, so I was starting to second-guess myself. Like, did I look like a dumbass, last February with the hand sanitizations? Did I look stupid or something? That's what I was thinking. I was like, man, maybe there's not going to be an outbreak. It took a little bit, but once it showed up here again, it just went everywhere. Everywhere. And people can say, oh, well, most people are going to make it, and that, this, and that, and the other. That's basically saying, fuck the homeless guys that have health problems. That's basically what they're saying. These guys matter to me. These guys matter to me because they were building roads and doing this and that and the other. And you look at the OkCupid and Tinder studies, how women judge men. A lot of these men are rough out here, but they're a lot better than the shitheads that are getting retarded women pregnant and then going to prison. So there's a lot of good men out here that get overlooked by society, and they'll never get to. There's a lot of guys out here that just never get to reproduce because they're not allowed to get out of this street. They're not allowed to get out of this. So judging them for turning to addiction is bullshit. Judging them for turning to addiction or becoming mentally ill, when there's studies that prove the longer you're out here, the more likely you're going to come down with both of those things. So judging them is not helping. And we as a society, I say we, because even whenever I was young, I was like, I could feel their pain, but I still judged them whenever I was younger. I eventually got over that. But it was taught to me to judge them. And it's something you can unlearn. But for us to have a society that's built upon judging men and always blaming men for their problems and then saving women for theirs. Like I said, there's women out here make $200-300 a day in just a few hours, and they piss on it and still beg cigarettes off other men and things like that all day long. But that woman that walked up is pregnant with mental problems and all that, and she's being left out here to, you know, she had mental problems before she was pregnant, right? And they dumped her ass out on the street, knowing that nature is still nature, you know, female nature is still female nature. She's still gonna, you know, need a man to survive. Need. And so she seeked out the bad boys, the toughest guy of the crew. It's just like the lobster theory that Jordan Peterson was talking about. There's a hierarchy everywhere. That was her instinct. That was something that wasn't taught. That was her instinct. Go for the toughest guy in the lion's den. The toughest lion in the lion's den, right? And she did. The toughest that she could achieve. The toughest that she could actually acquire, that was willing to hook up with somebody on that level that could barely even get words out. She could barely even get some, you know, recognizable English language out. And so you could imagine what her old man might even look like or sound like, or what problems he might actually have. But she confirmed that he had mental illness and addiction as well. And now they created a little family together out here on this street. You know whose fault that is? It sounds to me like this all happened before this outbreak. That's what it sounds like to me, that had happened before the outbreak. They didn't care about these people with the mental problems that probably were told to take this pill and that pill and this pill and that pill and that. Now they get dumped out on the street. There's no third-party solution that shows compassion, that shows any sense of understanding for their situation. And so they're forced to go back to the primitive survival instinct to the best of their knowledge. And they both end up hooking up. Sex happens. Sex happens, right? And now she's pregnant out here. And you know who's going to have to pay for that? Your tax dollars. Men who pay 90% net tax. Men have to pay for that. Men who are not out here on the street are going to be paying for that child. And odds are, you know, he's going to be a lifetime criminal, because that's all he knows. And he's not going to get hired nowhere with his issues. Nobody's going to inspire him with his limited ability to get off the dope or whatever the fuck it is that he's on. Instead, the cops are going to harass him, throw him back into the cell. He'll probably never be able to know what it's like to be a father. He'll just keep going back to that cell. And she's going to be out here having to hook up with another guy later on. Have another kid. Probably lose every kid she gets. Probably lose every single one and just be an emotional wreck with more mental issues because of it. And some of these guys, if they make it out, they're going to have to pay for those babies. Even if they have mental illness, oh, they got her pregnant, better pay child support, right? And they have mental illness and addiction, and now they got to pay child support because the system made them sleep outside, and hey, survival and sex happens, right? And it's just broken homes out here on the streets. Just like they don't care about the family structure off the streets, they don't care if that type of family system is created out here, and they end up, you know, the Adam and Eve of the future populace of mentally ill, handicapped people out here. Because, hey, their kids are going to have kids, and they're going to have kids, and they're going to have kids, and they're going to have kids. Odds are they're going to inherit their parents' fucking problems and also be forgotten. There's a really, really good chance of that. 80% of criminals are raised by broken homes and raised by, oh, not the father, right? We'll just put it that way. So you've seen it for yourself, guys. And I'm going to show you more live streams because I'm running out of space on my phone, all the things that I keep finding out here. And you guys have a good holiday. Keep me in your wishes and your prayers. And just know if one day I stop uploading, that unsubbing is probably a fucked up thing to do because something had probably happened to me. So, because I'm doing God's work. But a lot of people did that before and they end up dead. It happens. Just keep me in your prayers, guys. This place needs more funding, more space, bigger buildings for people to, be in, and so they don't have to be outside. What's up, man? And so they need more funding here. And the only place that really deserves funding is Interfaith Sanctuary. That's the only place that I would say that needs more funding. But also, they need to understand that all the efforts that the nighttime crew is doing is being shit on by the ignorant morning crew. The morning crew they're not doing the same, temperature tests. They're just letting people, flood through that gate like zombies in the morning. They could have COVID. They could spread to all those people that had the test the night before that they let stay the night before. And then it fucks up the whole thing. So shout out to the night crew at Interfaith. You're doing the right thing. You guys rock. But the morning crew, they're fucked up. And they're also messed up for promising me a jump on my car the other day, saying they're going to do it, and then not having enough interfaith. Speaking of interfaith, they didn't have enough interfaith to fucking come out here and keep their word, because apparently in their eyes, in the morning crew, it's okay to lie. It's okay to lie to somebody that's out here helping you do your job as well, and you just may not know it. You thought I was just some little shithead. That's all right. That's okay. When the videos leak out, they leak out. It's still a good place. It's the best chance you have is Interfaith. That's the best chance you have out here, but it's very small. Something needs to change about that. And just because the churches aren't holding service does not give this city an excuse for not having the funds to help some of these people with mental illness, addiction, and some of these people don't have either of those yet. Some people, there's new people out here all the time. It's just a matter of time before they end up being swallowed up by the darkness out here. It's a matter of time. And the clock is always ticking, and it doesn't stop for nobody. There's people that are feeling healthy today that's going to fall out within the next couple of days because of COVID, right? And they have no idea. Because there's not enough space, there's not enough funding, there's not enough resources. And you can't put this on a religion or a church to sit here and solve these fucking problems. You as a society, if I can come out here and make the little bit of smudge change that I've made, and I don't even fucking live here, this is not my city, then shame on you as a city. Shame on you. Seriously, shame on you. Everybody wants to talk about, the Californians are moving here, and they're causing the rise in population, the rise in the cost of living, right? And yet the people who already live here or have lived here their whole life, they're ignoring the homelessness. They're all worried about the Californians, though. You guys need to worry about this down here, because people are getting desperate out here. I'm seeing it every day. People are getting very desperate. And I've seen normal people turn into crazy animals out here to survive. I've seen it. Good people completely snapping. Good people are out here. They have to get a plug to survive. If you don't know what that means, then hey, you ain't from the streets, then sorry, I ain't going to explain all that. That's not right. And the cops don't need to be worried about what's in your pocket. If they know you have mental problems or addiction, they should be saying, hey, what resources do you need to get off of that? Can we help you? That's what they need to say, not, hey, we're going to put this fucking cuff on you, interrogate the fuck out of you, treat you like you're a dog, and then go throw you into a cell. That's bullshit. So I don't know how many times I can say it's a broken record, but I'm seeing it play out more than not. Where I hear people that are addicts, they're like, I really wish I never did this stuff. I wish I could just get off of it. But it sucks to be out here, and I just can't handle this. Some of you would go crazy just by the morning. When you wake up and you see the free coffee handed out and you hear this echo, kind of like the birds on Finding Nemo when they see food and they're like, mine, 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 mine. That's what it's like when you start hearing this echo going, do you have a cigarette? 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 I mean, if I kept saying that, you'd probably want to turn the live stream off. And I'm telling you right now, that's what it's like, 24/7. Same people every day asking for a cigarette. Some of them will ask you for a cigarette and then 5 minutes later ask you for one again. And then 5 minutes later ask you for one again. Even if they never got one, even if you always told them no, some people just keep on asking you. And then the next day they ask, and then the next day, then the next day, then the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And that one time you ask them for a cigarette, they're going to be like, oh, I don't have one. Even if they do. Okay? It's getting desperate out here. It's getting messy out here. Boise, you better snap out of it. You better snap out of that judgment. Because I think judgment day is coming for you. You keep judging these homeless people, looking away from them when they're pleading for help at the side of the road, and you just look away. Shame on you. You just hand them a sandwich and say you did something for homelessness. Shame on you. There's not enough resources being given to Interfaith, and ROL does not deserve the resources they're getting because they're shitting on men over there. They didn't care about the outbreak. I wonder if they're getting more funding if they have an outbreak. It makes me wonder a little bit. Makes me wonder. ROL is so scared of you recording the inside of their facility that they don't even realize that you have the right to record anywhere in the state that you are being recorded. Walmart, gas stations, hotels, homeless shelters. You have that right legally to record anything that you want. And you have the right to criticize anybody, right? I know YouTube don't like it sometimes, but you still have the right to say what you have to say. And these little organizations out here did not fight for free speech like, men like us. We're fighting for free speech every day. Even if you've never been in the military like I was, you're still fighting for free speech. So I could go on forever, guys. I had a dream speech and get shot in the head later, and nobody's gonna sit here and probably really understand until they see this shit themselves. But this is fucking terrible. This is a state of emergency out here. There used to be 40, 50 people standing out here this time of day. Where are they at? Where are they at? I'll let you put your tinfoil hats on. This is a complex problem, and I'm pretty sure that when I get off this live stream, it'll be held in this live stream will be held hostage like that one was, and that's not normal. Just so you know. I'm sure some of you might make comments later that will disappear. It's not me. Even if you criticize me, it's not me. I'm not deleting your comments. That's YouTube. Happens to me too on my own channel. I've seen it. The Matrix is real, and you're in it. The problem is the Agent Smiths are preying upon the people at the bottom, and the rest of you just look past it because, oh, it's not my problem. Oh, this is a hard thing to tackle. Just let not you guys in the red pill community, but I'm saying to anybody out there that's a normie, it is your fault. You just look away and you say, let the cops handle it. Let the local churches who have no money at the moment, let them handle it. Between the two, who has anything going on right now? Oh, it's the cops. They got money. Churches don't. So when society leaves it to the churches, and some of them are being infiltrated by secret societies like the Jesuits with murals like the ones that I just showed you, you're leaving it between the cops and the churches, right? Good luck with that right now in 2020. It's going to be a hell of a ride for the cities that shit on their homeless people or who have forgotten they're homeless. It's going to be hell of opportunities. Some of them need more than just a shovel in their damn hand. They need opportunities and compassion and some kind of third party new idea and solution where like just a big plot of land where they're allowed to camp. You know what I mean? If they want, where they could fish without worrying about whether it's legal or illegal. You don't sit there and see birds telling other birds that they can't build their damn nests on a fucking river or eat this. You can't do that. You can't put a tent here. You can't sleep there. I'm about to expose that the city of Boise tried to overthrow a ruling by the Supreme Court in 2019 because the mayor of Boise does not want homeless people sleeping on the damn ground, right? This is 2019, just before the outbreak. He was fighting like hell just before the outbreak. And this city has Jesuits in it. So anyways, I'm not going to scratch the surface too much. But the mayor here in 2019, you can look it up, was challenging, I don't remember exactly the names of the ruling, but hey, it will be in the video. I found the article today for the first time I saw this. The mayor of Boise, I'm going to repeat it again, was challenging the Supreme Court to overrule a previous statement where the Supreme Court said that people should have the right, if there's no other options, they should have the right to sleep outside for survival purposes. Anywhere that's public, anywhere. Well, the Greenbelt is public, is it not? But yet if you go out there, try to sit by the river late at night because you don't want to be out here, right? Because it's crazy out, it's a madhouse out here, right? They will get you a ticket and arrest you. You know, they will give you a ticket and arrest you if you go sit by that Greenbelt, even though the Supreme Court said, no, sorry, Boise. These homeless people have the right to sleep anywhere they want. That's in the public if there's no other options. Now, ROL won't let me go there because I expose their corruptions. Interfaith Sanctuary probably won't let me over there now because I criticize their morning staff for lying to me like a good old fake Christian, saying, hey, I'm gonna give you a jump on your car, and I haven't done nothing but help people out here, give them rides and all that, and help them. I was helping my buddy Danny get off of some shit. I don't care what he's doing. I was trying to get him off of it. And these people out here are like, damn, if this man solves homelessness out here, it makes us look bad, well, we can't have that. So that means based on the Supreme Court ruling, I have nowhere to go, right? If I want to go sleep by the river, do you think the cops are going to leave me alone or give me a ticket? No, they're going to give me a ticket, which is against the Supreme Court ruling in 2019, just before this outbreak. You know, the city that's got Jesuits, right? You know, working at these homeless shelters. It's just interesting. It's interesting how that works. I don't think these people out here know that they have the right to sleep outside. And it's not the most pleasant, but hey, if you're ex-military, you can make the best of it by that river there, which has the Greenbelt right next to it. So that makes it a public area. That's a public accessed area. So you should have the right to sit there by that river. And me being kicked by the cops last February, that was against the Supreme Court ruling. That was actually against that Supreme Court ruling. I should have had the right to sit there and not be kicked. So I'm about to educate all the homeless here about how many times they've been infringed. They should be able to sleep wherever the fuck they want to out here on their side. Look, they're only sleeping in front of their damn sanctuaries and stuff. So I might bait the cops tonight because look, I'm gonna tell you something. Look, I'm gonna show you this thing that's against the ruling here in a minute, and it's on the wall. It says if you sleep out here, the police will come get you, basically. But yet that Supreme Court ruling said that they can't do that. And I found the proof earlier, and I was like, what the fuck? I just happened to find it, and nobody really knows that. Look at this crap, just so you guys know. And they call trespassing, you know, sleeping out here. If you have nowhere else to go, the Supreme Court ruling of last year, and when Boise tried to challenge it, when Boise mayor said, you know, they don't want this to look like California because California's moving here, right? Well, the Supreme Court said too damn bad. You know, if you have nowhere to go and you're trying to survive, you should not be punished and thrown to a cell because you got to sleep outside right here in front of only a homeless shelter. Now, you're not, if you sleep out here, you're not sitting in front of McDonald's, in front of the damn drive-through, holding up traffic. You're not sleeping at a gas station in front of the damn gas pumps. This is a homeless shelter. It's supposed to be. The ones ran by you-know-who. And they're sitting there promoting the idea that your rights don't matter. That what the Supreme Court said last year somehow does not matter. You know, people like me who are independent journalists, I'm not allowed to sleep in some of these damn places because I'm telling the truth of the suffering that's out here. Fuck that. They need more resources and bigger buildings, and you can't rely on churches right now because they can't hold services. So everybody leaves it between the cops and churches to solve homelessness. It has not worked for 50 years. It has caused nothing but addiction and mental illness, and a mix of both. And both don't need to be looked at like, oh, you gotta be slammed behind a damn slammer. But hey, never mind the fact that when Boise went against the Supreme Court, lost, they're still doing whatever they want here in Boise. Look at that. You can't sit out here at night, or you will get a ticket if you sleep. You'll get a ticket. You'll get a ticket. And it's bullshit. And I'm about to educate everybody about that ruling with the Supreme Court, and look it up. I'm right. And they don't even know that out here. They've been getting tickets, and you know what that means? I looked it up. If you've been getting tickets and stuff over it, then you can sit there and fight the city and sue them for it, and they'll take that case for free. So I'm about to work on a class action lawsuit before I leave and get all these people together, because I even have video being harassed by a bridge the other day when he said, I said, I'm not being detained. He said, yes, you are. Almost got arrested. I had to pretend like I had service on my phone, like I was going live on YouTube. I had to pretend like I'm doing what I'm doing now. It worked somehow. I ran out of space on my phone, so it only got about 28 seconds of that clip. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna get out the phone, go help my buddies out here. I gotta keep my eyes on my head. Hey, it's time to solve problems, and I'm gonna solve them whether they like it or not. Over and out. It's time we help men on the bottom.